been doing a lot of lives, but just got the brace. Hand is working a little better. He put me on prednisone for 15 days, so if my face blows up, you won't see me live until it stops. But so far, so good. The only side effects is that I'm a little bit agitated. Did have a emotional blowout yesterday over medication and some stuff that, whatever, it's not worth talking about. Anyway, so let's talk about the scoops. To me, it's real, okay? I don't doubt anything we've been told. I'm genuinely happy the way it's kind of blown up my channel a little bit. It's obvious people are hungering for news about this. But I wanted to talk about why what we've been told matches what's going on in the public. First off, we're not getting a celebration for next year. And the reason why is because whoever's coming in doesn't want to have to worry about bullshit. It'll taint their work, okay? And it'll give Lucasfilm a chance to regroup. Because a lot of people are going to be gone, okay? A lot of people. It really is going to be interesting watching it as it goes on, how many people are going to leave, okay? And the reason why I say that is the changes are coming. You'll look at the fact that they're not going to stream Star Wars Celebration. There's a huge indication that what we've been told is true. Press packets being gathered up with everything to do with Kathleen Kennedy, despite the guests showing up, despite this, that, and the other thing. Okay, and look, she's going to be 70 this year. It's time. It's time for her to go. It's not going to be sold as that. It's going to be that Kathleen Kennedy is here and everybody party kind of thing. I'm not necessarily going to buy that. It's going to be a celebration for her. And we may get, yeah, that's true, Maze. We're not going to get, I got to take this. I hate these things. We're not going to get her saying I'm leaving, but we might. That wasn't any indication of what we were told, but I took it to be there could be something there because she doesn't want this to go on. She does not want it to be her celebration. Iger said it is. Okay. And when you put two and two together, it's pretty obvious that if they're doing this, they're not streaming, she didn't want it, it's her goodbye to Lucasfilm. Celebration. We may be told, she may say it, I'm sorry to say this, but this is my last Star Wars celebration. I mean, look, do not doubt that, okay? And the reason why is because, again, she doesn't want to do it. All right, these are just things to remember. So what else is going on? That. And of course, let's talk about the grifter, Leslie Headland. And yeah, and that's the thing. Okay, if she shows up, there are going to be people there that boo her. There's a reason why they're doing this in England. She has more fans there than she does here, okay? And she will get booed when she shows up. I mean, that's just what's going to happen. The fan base, on the most part, doesn't like her, doesn't want her around. Nature of the beast. Look at her record. Okay. So, let's talk about Leslie Headland. So yesterday, she dropped the fact that this guy named Garcia Lopez, who is the director of Netflix Daredevil, as part of quote unquote the directing team for The Acolyte. And she dropped this girl's, let me go grab it. I wrote it down. Shit, I threw it away. Okay, DeGrade. Her last name is DeGrade. They put her as one of the executive producers. Charmaine DeGrade. They put her as one of the executive producers for the Acolyte. Now, I'm gonna ask what we know. And these names are out there. The Garcia Lopez thing was dropped on the direct, not Deadline or Variety. The direct, which is like, if you're gonna actually, if it's real, you go, the big tabloids will pick, the rags will pick it up. But they didn't. Okay, so we don't get a real date when we're gonna see it, sometime in 2024. Okay. Which is to me never. And again, he is a Latino, and this Charmaine or Chastain or whatever her name is, DeGrade is African American, or she's a woman of color. She's setting Disney up, and they know it. I mean, Bob Iger isn't stupid. She's setting them up to be screamed at for being, get ready, da 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 da, racist, sexist, bigots, anti-Latino, homophobes. All right, that's what they're doing. That's what she's doing. You go on to her IMDb Pro page. She's got a lot of stuff she could be working on, stuff that fits her milieu, small, independent, personal kind of things, not an enormous Star Wars show with an enormous budget. And she doesn't have a budget. Go back and look at the pictures that were casually dropped on, I think it was some sort of Gawker site on in England, and then they turned up in on the Daily Mail or one of the rags there. The costumes are cheap. You've got the girl that played Logan's daughter now being the star. Where's Carrie Ann Moss? She's out doing her lifestyle brand on Annapurna. That's what she's doing. She's not filming this. Okay? She's not even close. Okay, so, and then of course, you've got Amanda Stenberg. She hasn't been pictured on the set. The only picture we have of her is somewhere, maybe at Galaxy's Edge, with Lee Jung Jae in street clothes, looking like they're being directed by Harvey Weinstein's former personal assistant, aka the Grifter. What's going on here? I have to say that I've never seen anything quite like this in my life. You know, when you know for a fact that the company A is not going to give you the money, they can't afford it. Okay. They've put everything into The Mandalorian and the Mandoverse. You know, we're getting big, but I mean, look, Mandalorian today was head and shoulders better than anything they've had out since Mandalorian. And I like the Book of Boba Fett, but there wasn't any money in it. Part of the reasons why I think the Book of Boba Fett didn't do as well is because they didn't have any money in it. Kenobi, sorry to say, but it could have actually used Jon Favreau to give something more to it than it had. Okay, there was money in it, but it wasn't the money that they needed. Okay, it was still, but yet, if you compare those two, fucking Andor, they were head and shoulders better than that. Andor was shit. Okay, it was woke with Val and that horrible, ugly. What the hell was that? Why couldn't she be a man? Why did they have to do that? I know why. Because they wanted that fucking representation. They didn't care if it fit or not. They didn't care if it was distracting or not. They were doing it to piss people like me off. That's all. Okay. You could have gotten a big blind guy and said, there's Val. And his name could have been Val. But no. Okay. No. All right. And you could have done stuff with that. There would have been a very intriguing relationship between him and Mon Mothma. All right, think about it. But no, we've got this hawk-nosed, skinny, ratty chick treating all the men around her like shit, screwing this BIPOC girl, and it's gross. It's fucking gross. And they, instead of concentrating on Luthen Rawl, he's still a mystery. No one knows anything about him. They had it all about Andor and his mommy, his freaking psychopath mommy. And the galaxy was that big. You know, Coruscant was all human. Why? They didn't have any money. They didn't have any money. The VFX was not good. Now maybe this next year will be better, but again, where's all the money going? To Mandoverse. Okay. All right. And there's the difference. Head and shoulders better. And what is my rule about an artist? You can tell if they love something by how good it is. Jon Favreau, Dave Filoni, and the people working on Mando, from the special effects guys to the guys in the costumes, Brandon Wayne, who's John Wayne's grandson, who looks like him, by the way, it's really cool. Pedro Pascal, and the actual the major stunt guy that's under the costume, they love what they're doing. The people involved with this love Star Wars. They love it. That's why it works. Okay, that's why it works, and the budget's there. They can make it big. We have pirates. We have droids everywhere. All kinds of protocol droids everywhere. We've got these sets. We've got the volume stage. Hi, Jonathan. I'm doing better. It's in a brace now. All this stuff is so good. Okay, so that's what makes it great. Now, I know there are going to be people saying, that's not enough to save Disney Plus. If they get ratings for this, that's really all they need. Okay, and I think a lot of people will come to watch this. Now, my complaints were the Babu Frick things. What the fuck? Okay, look, I know John said, I want to make something that prequel, original trilogy, and sequel trilogy fans love. Why are we separated? Because the sequel trilogy fans treat the rest of us like shit. And really, there aren't very many, so why are we indulging them at all? But there it was. It took me out of the thing. Oh, by the way, if you can hit the likes, I'd really appreciate it. Thank you. If you're looking at it and you're like, okay, I get it, but still, it triggered my sequel trilogy PTSD. All right, now let's talk a little bit about the fact it was too short. They were setting everything up. This is going to be a boom season. It's going to be over like that. We're going to be in May going, all right, that's how big it is. Now, let's go to the good things. They left a wide open gap for Cara Dune to come back in. Okay, and they didn't really say anything in the interviews coming up, but when Greef Karga, played by the wonderful Carl Weathers, Apollo Creed, said Cara Dune, after they took Moff Gideon and he's now on trial, war tribunal, War Crimes Tribunal. Cara Dune went back to go back with the Special Forces. Rangers of the New Republic, there's another hint changes are coming. She's not going to come back, though, until Psycho Bitch is gone. Okay? And all those people are gone. And I know they're watching this right now. They do watch this. I've gotten a pretty good authority that they do. And not in this one, but I think he will in Ahsoka. This is where this is going. I really think that, now look, let's talk about what John said. Grogu spent 2 years training with Luke. And there's a rumor out there we're going to get a Luke Skywalker TV show. Now, there's another rumor I want to address. And it's a very sort of obscure. Yeah, she's coming. Yeah, Paulie's right. She's coming back. Cara Dune is coming back. The moment, and this should be a wake-up call for Fanboys Incorporated to see that their BFF is coming back. She might not put it out there that she is, but they wouldn't have that in there, all right, if that wasn't going to happen in the future sometime. Now, there's a rumor out there by a guy that actually worked for quite a few of the studios, saying that he had heard that they're working on 3 short movies, one for Luke Skywalker, one for Han Solo, one for Leia. And what I think it is they're going to test how people feel about deepfake. Now, look, I posted a deepfake of Harrison Ford. He's doing an interview for 1923. If you haven't watched it, watch it. Him and Helen Mirren were who Han Solo and Leia should have been in the sequel trilogy. Okay, that's just it. And the same exact character as Han. He was grown up. All right, something that people like J.J. Abrams and the current Lucasfilm hierarchy don't understand is adulthood, because they've yet to reach it. They've yet to reach it, okay? And they don't understand anything about husbands and wives or marriage, not even a little bit. I would think Kathy Kennedy would, but, maybe she thinks she's the only one that should be allowed to be married. I don't know. In a normal relationship. But it would be, if you watch that show, you're going to understand where I'm going with this. Now, I posted in a short that interview with Harrison Ford in 1923, but it was de-aged. It is like, he's, 50 years old? 45? No, about 50. No, and it's like, because it's just like, I showed it to my mom-in-law, and she's looking at the poster behind him. It says 1923. She's looking at that. Then we found juxtaposition, the actual interview, and that, and she's like, "Oh my God, you can't." It's unbelievable. These are the things they can do. Now, I'm not saying I want to see actors not get a chance to get parts, and the indispensable man mostly doesn't exist. Okay, bye, Carlos. However, in this case for Han Solo, after seeing Awful Air and Yuck, I can safely say it. The only person in the whole world that could play Han Solo is Harrison Ford. Period. That's it. All right. The only person who can do Luke Skywalker is Mark Hamill. They have to, because there aren't actors out there now to approximate these characters at all. And then you've got Leia. You can't look. I remember there was a trial balloon from Lucasfilm posted out there. What if Meryl Streep took over Leia? No! I like Meryl Streep. I don't have a problem with her. But no. Why? She was one of Carrie's best friends. They absolutely had a ball together. But Meryl Streep trying to come close to carries who she was. She was Leia. She couldn't do it. It'd be completely different. It would take everybody right out of the movie. So no. So if they can get actors that approximate these guys, do a deep fake over them, and it works, why not do it? Okay? Because look, when you watch the Book of Boba Fett, and I think Polly would agree, and they showed Luke talking with Grogu, I didn't have a problem with that. That was Mark Hamill. That was him. That was Luke. So we'll see what they do, but bear in mind we're gonna have to, because they have to fix what they broke. And I think part of the reason why, another reason besides there's gonna be a leadership change, and things are gonna get retooled at Lucasfilm. I gotta say that they're going to have to fix what they broke, and this would be a way to do it. Okay, now, I don't know how many people watched Mandalorian. Fanboy Incorporated is hoping again that it crashes and burns. And I'm really, again, just absolutely disgusted. You know, again, we can't just like something. We have to hate all of it, which is bullshit. And every time you call them out for it, they get upset. It's like, you're the ones that are doing it, we're not. Okay? So, there you go. Anyway, what else? So really, it was great. It was by and far better than Andor. Andor was cheap. Andor was boring as fuck. Andor was woke. Andor was, it wasn't Star Wars. It was just, I mean, Tony Gilroy's just, look, when the guy was being interviewed for it, he was very much kind of full of himself. It was like he didn't really understand the material. He didn't want anybody that actually loved Star Wars to do it. And it, very disappointing. It could have been good, but it never, they approached this part of the story wrong. And this is where I kind of agree with Liam Neeson. There were no core characters in Andor. Andor is not a core character. He is derivative. He is a wayside character. And if they were going to if they were going to introduce a character, they could be a core character. They had Luthen Rawl. We don't know why he's doing what he's doing, but here we are. Okay. Why? Why does he have a Sith holocron? Whose is it? Is it a Darth Bane holocron? Is it a Revan holocron? Darth Malgus? Who? Who did it belong to? Could it have been even a Darth Tenebris holocron? We don't know. And we're just sitting there going, okay, whatever. Okay, we don't know. Andor didn't tell us anything, and we still don't know. Opening scene. We've got Andor looking for his sister. Never got any answers. Never got anything. Bullshit. And what am I supposed to do? Watch 50 episodes to get to the point? And again, a slow burn, if it's interesting, is good. But Val and her bitch girlfriend were not interesting. It was gross. The Imperial, the cop stalking the Imperial ISB officer it was like, are we in an episode of Dahmer now? Things that don't belong. We're told, well, it's adult. We finally have sex in Star Wars. Okay, I didn't realize that we actually needed to show people in bed to not realize people were fucking each other. Okay, Pretty much what do you think happened on the Millennium Falcon on the slow boat ride to Cloud City? What honestly did you think? Okay, I can't imagine. All right. And the lack of romance, the lack of sincerity, it's just this callous, postmodern shit that they pushed into this. And there's Tony Gilroy. Fuck you, bitch. That's my opinion. Okay. I don't. Andor sucked. This is my rant. Mandalorian is so much on a higher level because the affinity and the sincerity and the love and the heartfelt emotion that went into it. It was warm. When you're walking through Navarro and you see Twi'leks, you see the statue to IG-11. You see all this stuff that makes Star Wars Star Wars. And the story surrounding how Navarro has started to rebuild, how they want to be an independent system, trading post. And it's great, all right? It's just, it gives meat to what's going on. And look, we'll get the story of what is going on with the Republic, the New Republic, okay? I have a feeling that Asian pilot, who's not a pilot anymore, obviously, is going to say something to Luke or Leia, or maybe Mon Mothma, about what's going on in the Outer Rim. That would have taken everybody out of the show and into an actual Star Wars show. All right? And remember, they're like 5 years before the out and out Civil War. And what I find interesting is that you think 5 years before the Battle of Yavin, BBY, that it would be there'd be a more coherent structure to the people opposing the Empire. And there's not. It's just, who gives a fuck about Ferrix? All right, who cares? I mean, you've got Andor's mommy yelling, fuck the Empire. It's like, that's not Star Wars. That's an Antifa prick saying, fuck everybody else. On with the government, all right? Because, who does Antifa really like? The government, okay? They're burning down people's houses that aren't comfortable with being told what to do. When they're doing that, that's what they do. Businesses, churches. There was a pipe bomb found in a Catholic cathedral in Philadelphia. All right, there you go. Okay, that could have been Jane's Revenge or some other crazy pro-abortion, baby-killing faction, but, still, all right. That's what that was. Okay, bullshit. Hey, Cross, I call bullshit on that. Again, the reason why it didn't work is because they struck every wrong chord. The reason why Mando works is because it strikes every right chord. We have yet another hero's quest. We have yet characters we've fallen in love with. All right? We'll see characters we love come in. We'll see the big three, maybe all three of them. We'll see Luke again. We might see Han. That pilot might be telling Han, you better tell your wife, some shit's going down. Okay? He might be talking to Luke. We don't know. Now the rumor was Mon Mothma was going to show up in there, but I hope not. I'm not a fan anymore because Andor ruined her. All right? I didn't care about her husband. Her daughter's a fat, spoiled, disgusting little brat. So really, her being the leader of the systems against the Empire, whatever they call the Rebel Alliance. You know, where was Bail Organa? I mean, these are the things you have to ask, all right? These are the things that really need to be talked about. And that's why, again, this didn't work. Andor didn't work. Mandalorian did work. And it works. This was a great way to bring in the new season. I'm already going to say this, that they probably refashioned a lot of stuff that they had filmed for Boba Fett because Boba Fett was such a fucked up mess. And the reason, again, why Boba Fett was a fucked up mess and should not have been is because Favreau wasn't there the whole time. And when he did come back, they had to take stuff they already filmed for Mando and stick it in there. Okay, so again, if you don't know why Din Djarin and Grogu are together, go watch those episodes of Boba Fett and you'll understand. Okay, and yeah, it was that's exactly right, Peter. There's Kennedy was sabotaging it, or at least her buddies were. Look, you guys are gonna have to bear with us. Hey, Carla, on this because there's shit going down. All right, at Lucasfilm. I know for a fact that they watch us, they read Cameron's Patreon. I know they disseminate what we're saying. And that's fine, they can. All right. Here's my advice. Big Mama is leaving. This is her swan song. If I was you, and you're right, we won't, Peter. And if I was you, I would get my resume tidied up and start putting it out there because you don't want to be caught without a job in California. Or you might be one of those homeless people shitting on the streets of San Francisco or living in a tent city in Los Angeles. All right, that's just the truth. Okay, that is just the truth, and I hate to say it. All right, but you know, when I think about what's going on, and I think about what Disney's going through, and look, you're not going to escape the layoffs. You have not performed your duties the way you should have. It's truth. All right, it's just is what it is, and Disney doesn't want to have to sell Lucasfilm. They want it to make money. Guess what? You have not kept your, hey Doug, you have not, I hope you liked it. You've not kept up your end of the bargain. High Republic is trash. The Acolyte is a grift anymore. That woman should be arrested. She's trying to blackmail Bob Iger into giving her enough money to make a show no one wants. Bullshit. Okay. Damon Lindelof has been attempting that. Okay. You know, and I know they're scrambling to put more out there. Fuck you is all I can say. Get out while you can. Get out. Because you're not going to be there next year. All right? Telling you right now. The list is out there. I've talked about what's on the list. I've seen the list. And you know what? My advice, do what I did. Get out. Find a job. Go to Universal. Go to another studio. get together and do lesbians in space. Get a studio to do that. It doesn't have to be Star Wars. The arrogance and the hubris you people had going into this, thinking you could literally take the most expensive and greatest film franchise of all time and tip it over, trash everything that made it great for your fucking politics, is beyond hubris. It's condescending. It's delusional. And to sit there and imagine there was an audience for that. Look, here's the deal. And I'm going to go more into this maybe in a future video. Because my videographer, my editor, Baz Taylor, basically said I should. The hero's journey is thousands of years old. And it's universal. Okay, the Vikings had one. The Romans had Aeneas. The Greeks had all of those mythologies. The Chinese have one. The Koreans have one. There are hero's journeys, African mythology that Disney doesn't look at. Okay, instead they appropriate, fairy tales written by white men, and bullshit. There are Mayan fairy tales. There are Aztec fairy tales. There are all kinds of things. They're all the hero's journey. And they're ingrained in instinct. You can't change that. You can't engineer it. And Cross is right. You can't engineer it at all. Because it's unnatural. It is unnatural. Right, okay, fine. Rey can have a hero's journey. It's not that Rey, being a woman, is what bothers people. It's that she sucks. She fucking sucks. The lack of romance. Part of the hero's journey is fighting for your love. Your woman. Han sacrificing himself in Cloud City for Leia. Leia going to rescue him. Okay, that's what was lacking in the fucking sequel trilogy. Luke deciding to throw his lightsaber away when he realized he would have to kill his father, or that he was becoming like his father. He looks at his right hand, looks at Vader's missing hand, and says, fuck this shit, I'm done. Walks away. Almost dies. Father rises up. One last moment. Anakin comes up, grabs the Emperor, throws him into the reactor shaft. But because Disney sucks and sucked at the time, they had to bring the Emperor back because fucking Rian Johnson, who his idea of romance is probably fucking animals. Okay? That's his idea. All right? It's look, these are the wrong people to do this, and yet here we are. All right, now we've got a chance with Mandalorian and the Mandoverse to see Star Wars as it should be seen, and to get away from the garbage of Reylo, Mary Sue, Vice Admiral Gender Studies, drunk deadbeat dad Han Solo, Luke, the coward, and Leia, Hillary Clinton. Okay, we get a chance to actually see them the way they are and the way they should have been presented. And sure, we can have some sequel trilogy stuff. I'm going to give you a little hint about something I'm working on. And I'm going to start as soon as I can get this handle a little better. It is a fan fiction about a reckoning with Afra. Oh, Rian Johnson is just befevered SJW sociopath who thinks he's actually the greatest director that ever lived. Martin Scorsese Francis Ford Coppola, George Lucas, Steven Spielberg, Ridley Scott, Robert Zemeckis, Brian De Palma, and others are going. All right. He could have been if he'd have done it right. But, again, The Force Awakens was such a shitty movie in of itself. I want you to think about that. If you liked it, think about how small the galaxy was. Think about the lack of creativity. Think of the chances they didn't take. Think of the fact it was nothing more than a soft reboot, and it sucked. All right. But the fan fiction I'm working on is going to be about the death of Dr. Aphra. Because, sure, we can use her for a little bit. Let's see what happened to her, though. I got an idea. This is stuff, if you haven't seen Mando Season 3, Mando Episode 17, see it. It's fucking good. It's way up here above Andor, and it's above the Book of Boba Fett, and it's, Kenobi needed Favreau. Kenobi needed Favreau bad. Okay? And, like I said about the scoop, believe it or not, with the wide open causeway for Cara Dune to walk in, that's another indication that things are changing at Lucasfilm. And ding dong, the bitch is dead. Okay? Steph, sending out. I'll see you.